episode 49, this and that, and what a fuck. This one I'll be talking about a little bit about this gender thing and news of Gorbachev that is dead, and then I have some interesting things about Putin. Now, I'm going to start off with this one. China's first cross-sea high-speed railway linking Fuzhou and Xiamen in the southeast China's Fujian province completed its track-laying work on Tuesday. With a design speed of 350 km per hour, the new high-speed railway has a 277.42 km long main line and 8 stations along the route. The reason why I've picked this article is just an indication of what the Chinese are doing. Apart from the fact that they have exploded their economy and so forth, they are building a lot of infrastructure, and they're building high quality infrastructure. I had a discussion with a friend of mine that lives in America one night, and I spoke to him about the railway systems and so, and he said that their country is too big for rails. I was not impressed by that answer, because from what I have seen, the American railway system is falling apart. But look at this new rail system that China has built. And I know that Russia is also spending a lot of money on their railway lines and railway systems. So, but the fact of the matter is, the Americans, they piss their money out on wars around the globe and throwing their money after insane projects like the Ukraine, instead of spending it on their people and on their country and on their infrastructure. And then we get to Estonia. The plan for a complete transition to full Estonian language education is doomed to failure, said the head of Estonian Society of Teachers. There are simply not so many teachers in the country with knowledge of the Estonian language. According to the language department, 2,300 teachers who do not speak Estonian work in schools today. Even if some of them learn the state language, they will still need at least 2,000 new teachers. There is nowhere to take them. About 100 times fewer students choose the speciality of an Estonian language teacher than necessary, she explained. I can't understand what is going on there in the Baltics. Those 3 little countries there are in essence actually Russian. But we've seen over the past few weeks that they are quite aggressive against Russia, and they also were looking for shit with China. And now they're complaining about the fact that China has sanctioned them, and they are complaining about energy prices and gas prices and all that shit. But in the meantime, they were currently, they are the big drivers behind that insane idea of cutting the Russians out of the Schengen visa system. They don't learn, these people. And then we get to this. This is something that I have spoken about, and it is something that many people have shouted at me about it, and they've sent me nasty messages. But the truth of the fact is, look at this image. Go to hell, I want nothing to do with these LGBTQIA map freaks, gays and lesbians. And look at that image. How the fuck can they do that to that child? How can a parent allow his child to be exposed to something like this? I can guarantee you this will not happen in Russia. And then I've got these, and this is absolutely bloody disturbing to me. I thought everybody already knew. I know I did. Now I don't know that poster, how did you know? But here's the photo evidence. Look at these 3 images. What the actual fuck is that? This could have been a what a fuck. I cannot believe what I see here. And you wonder why Europe is in shit because of this. This is the leadership. Look at that Macron. And then that creep from Canada. I always had a lot of respect for Canada and for Canadians. And in my mind, I imagined the Canadians as tough, hard-working, good people. And they have a leader like this. I cannot understand. And then there's this, spotted today in New Hampshire. And that's a newspaper advertisement. Thank you, Senator Hassan, for voting to provide pregnancy care to biological men. The special treatment for women must end. And what the fuck is that? What is that? Pregnancy care to biological men. For fuck's sakes. And then this one, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this is very disturbing. This is a story that's going on, and there's a lot of things about it. It could actually be a skid mark on its own. Kids Hospital boss won't back down on child transgenital operations. Boston Children's Hospital CEO Kevin Churchwell reportedly said he'd refused to stop providing genital surgery procedures to minors, according to a leaked email. What the flying fuck is that? They are doing gender conversion surgeries on children. How did this happen? How did good people allow this to happen? I can assure you this shit will also not happen in Russia. Fuck. And then we've got this. Pedophile academic calls for tolerance for minor attracted persons, demands acceptance from the LGBTQ plus community. And what the hell is that? They call themselves MAP, minor attracted person. For fuck's sakes, to me that is a target, not a map, a target. A destination for pain. And if this was an Afrikaans video, I would have used the correct word, but I'll just give you the abbreviation. A PK. That is what this person needs. A good, solid PK. And then we get to this. At the age of 92, the humpback died. He is Mikhail Gorbachev. He is a traitor to the motherland who destroyed the USSR for many years. This man did not hide that he represented the interest of the United States. Now for me, I remember him. And I can remember how excited everybody was about this Gorbachev and his glasnost shit and all of that. And in those days, we thought he was a main hero. But lately I've read more, and what is in this article, he is a traitor to the motherland who destroyed the USSR. Remember those words. And then here's a picture of him. I'm sure we all remember that purple mark on his head. Former President of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, has died at the age of 92. The last leader of the USSR has passed away on Tuesday evening after a prolonged battle with illness. And then you get this. Gorbachev died. His legacy: Russia's GDP dropped by 40%, real wages halved, poverty ballooned from 2.2 million in 1987-88 to 66 million in 1993-95. Millions died under the brutal regime of privatization and shock therapy. 500,000 women were trafficked into sexual slavery. That is the legacy of Gorbachev. And then this person made this post. Gorbachev wasn't in power in 1993-95. Privatization, shock therapy and sex trafficking happened under Yeltsin in the Russian Federation. The Soviet Union, Russia's economy had been in decline since the late 70s. Maybe do some basic research next time. And I must apologize, I'm also guilty of that. And then there's this. Following the death of Gorbachev, it's become clear that while the USSR badly needed some kind of a perestroika in the 1980s, today it's the West that badly needs perestroika. FBI, CIA, MI6, NATO, Five Eyes, etc. These institutions need to be disassembled root and branch. And that is the truth. And I agree with this guy. And then post this. The West loves Gorbachev and Yeltsin because they made Russia weak, and despises Stalin and Putin because they made Russia strong. It's not about human rights, as some glasses-wearing, soy-consuming intellectuals believe. And then there's this of Putin. Now, it's not a secret that Putin had no love for Gorbachev. Putin was the one that picked up the pieces after Yeltsin fucked Russia up properly. Putin picked up the pieces. And I'm not surprised by this. President Putin pays his final respect to late leader Mikhail Gorbachev in a private hall. And there's the image, and the message is that Putin will not attend the funeral. And who can blame him? And then there's this piece from Putin, and we should all really take note of it. I never asked for anything that isn't mine. When I watched Russia collapse, I promised myself in front of God that I would save it. It turns out I have to save the whole world, because the demons that ruled the West have rotten everything spiritually on this planet. Now that is big words, and I'm not going to make an excuse for it. I really like this guy, and I respect him for what he is doing. And then there is another one from Putin, something you will not see other leaders do. Putin is holding an open lesson in Kaliningrad. The winners of the Olympiads and competitions in the field of culture, art, science and sports became participants of the conversation about important things with the president. And he spent time with those students and sat there in his chair, and they could ask him questions and he answered it. Where is the other leaders that do this? Biden will sit there and bumble and shit in his pants most probably. Who else? Name a leader that can do this. This is the future of Russia, and he's willing to spend time with him. And I have seen many interviews like this, a few, where he just sit down. He also brings journalists, I think it's once a month, to his office, and then he spends time with them, 2 hours that he sits with them, and they can ask him any question they like. And I have listened to some of those interviews. The man is so well informed, and what I really like about him is they ask him a question and he answers, and then he says, okay, I'm going to give you a number, but I'm not sure if this number is correct. We can confirm it later, but this is the number that I have in my head. And then he talks about those things. The West is in desperate need of leadership, of leaders, good leaders. Europe is in desperate need of good, strong men with solid principles. That is what Europe needs to get it out of that shithole where it's in. I have done a skid mark on the immigration issues. I think it will be published tomorrow morning or something like that. But the fact of the matter is, Europe is in deep shit, and they need somebody like Putin to pull them out of that shithole. And then, in that same spirit, look at this, what a fuck. This is Hollywood elite having a fucking party, and look at that thing in that bath, and they call it a spirit dinner. These people are sick in their heads. Sick! I cannot understand it. In any case, let's smile, because we still have choices. And one of the choices is not to be fucked up. That is a choice that you make. And please like, subscribe, and share the thing. Thank you for your support.